Hey everybody, welcome back. My name's Clint. I'm Mystic Valley Designs and I airbrush custom model horses. It's going to be me putting Frisket on a white sock and getting ready to paint the body of a horse. I have done a video a month or two ago on Frisket and white socks. In fact, I think I might even have done it on this model. Based on the feedback from that, a couple of people wanted more close-up shots. So this video will be me doing one sock on the horse, or on the model, and the other three are identical. So it's just simply going to be a close-up video of me applying Frisket and how I do it and why I do it, and I'll narrate it. But that's today's video. And by the way, today is Saturday, November 23, 2024, and I had shoulder surgery about 2 or 3 weeks ago on my left shoulder. So that's about as high as I can lift my shoulder right now, or lift my arm. So it's a long process. But anyway, okay, welcome back, folks. Thanks for hanging in there. First of all, we've got some Grumbacher Misket. This is a type of liquid Frisket. It's made out of latex. So if anybody has a latex allergy or sensitive to latex, this is probably not the best product for you to use. This is kind of expensive in my opinion. Let's see, we're getting about 1.2 ounces, something like that, for about $16. So let's see if we can crack this open. And we're going to be working on the front right. And I have a specific brush that I use with this. Let me see if I can find it. Here's how I prepare a hoof. Now it's already been sanded, it's primered, ready for painting for Frisket. So this is not real exciting, but I wanted you folks to have a clearer view of what I'm doing when I use liquid Frisket as a masking agent. Now, some of the properties of this liquid Frisket, it's relatively thick and it dries naturally, without, I like to use a heat gun when I force my stuff to dry. But this stuff would dry in about 20 minutes. Now to me, 20 minutes is an eternity. It takes way too long. So that's why I force dry it with a heat gun, a lot of my stuff. But I'm laying this on super thick while it is all wet. And I've got some mapping over here of what these hooves should look like. Or not the hooves, but the socks, what the socks should look like. So I know where to apply Frisket. And I'm not so much brushing this on as I am dabbing it on. That's how thickly this is going on. And I'm sort of using gravity to my advantage. If I were to turn this upside down, it'd all run down the leg and get where I don't want it to be. So the reason I'm putting it on so thickly is it makes it easier to peel off later today or tomorrow or whenever I decide to paint this. And I don't know if you can tell this, but I'm actually getting runs on it. And as long as it's running down, that's okay with me. I don't care. But yeah, I'm just laying this on super thick. And the reason I do that is it makes it easier to peel off. It even blobbed off. It ran off the hoof. Now let's get underneath here again. Frisket comes with a orange pigment mixed in with it. And it settles to the bottom. Now, if you mix it, if you shake it up and shake up the bottle, you'll do two things. You'll obviously integrate that orange pigment, making it easier to see, but you also introduce about 10 trillion little tiny air bubbles to everything. And I really dislike that a lot. So let's hit this with a heat gun. Now, if you notice, I've got these blobs down on the bottom, or on my, my worksheet here. I'm going to use those as a test pilot, and I'm going to dry them also. And I'll show you how this peels up. Now, when you get Frisket on this thick, and you're drying it the way I am, it'll form a film on top, but the underside of it is still liquid, and that's what you don't want. You want it to be completely, thoroughly dry. And in my previous video of a month ago, 2 months ago, something like that, I just simply rushed things too much and was painting over Frisket that had not completely cured. Now, if I were to take some more Frisket and apply this again, in other words, giving it a second coat, here's what will probably happen. The brush will probably stick to the base coat, or to the Frisket coat, I should say, and I run the risk of pulling up some of the Frisket that I've already put down, which is something I don't want to have happen. Now, if you put it on super thick and dab it on, you mitigate or decrease that risk. Now, the thickness that I'm applying right now is kind of overkill. But if you press too hard, you might actually start pulling up that dried Frisket. Now, if that does happen to you, number one, it's not the end of the world. Number two, simply lay on more Frisket right over the top of it. Now, let's see if we can, this is a fresh drop that I just put on. Over here is something that's been there for 3 or 4 minutes, and I've hit it with a heat gun. But you can see that film that's on top of it, but underneath it's still liquid inside or underneath that film, or that skin, whatever you want to call it. But that's how liquid Frisket behaves. Now, I'm using Grumbacher here because that's what my local art store has. But there's 2 or 3 other varieties or brands of liquid Frisket. I'll put a link in the description to Grumbacher's biscuit. And I've used this stuff for 30 years. It's been around forever. But like I said, my local art store carries it, and so that's why I get that particular brand. But anyway, folks, this is just simply putting Frisket on a hoof, and I got 2 more to do, so they're identical. The next step in this body will be to shoot brown all over it while the Frisket is still on the hoof. That's the whole point of it. It's a masking agent. Shoot brown all over it, then come in with black and darken the legs, turn them into a bay while the Frisket is still on there. Then when I've got most of that done, most of the body, 90% done, then I'll remove the Frisket and then go in with dapples and shading and details like that, and do the hooves and stuff like that. But this is pretty much how I do a hoof with liquid Frisket. So this is how I do liquid Frisket on a hoof. I map it out, put it on super, super thick, hit it with a heat gun, and let it completely thoroughly dry. This might even dry for the rest of the day or even into tomorrow. So the next video that I shoot on this model, the Frisket will be applied to all the legs or all the socks or whatever. And then, we'll just simply be shooting the body brown and then going in with black over the legs. So that's the next step of the videos that I'm producing on this particular model. So thanks for tuning in, folks. My name is Clint. I'm Mystic Valley Designs. I custom airbrush model horses. And thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you on the next video. Peace out. Take care.